Alright there, Yorkie here. I figured it was about time I made a tier list of games I've played, because the channel's been open about 3 months, it was late September. And been through a few games. Some have had a fairly long run, some have had a couple of runs, short or long, and some have just been on a short time. So, went to Tiermaker, first time I've ever used it, let's see if this works. Decided to break it down into S, A, B, C, D, F. S for Supreme, these are the top games that I really loved. A for appetizing, yeah, that's appetizing, aye. Basically, it's really good, it's not perfect, it's got issues, you know. B, basic, it's good enough to be on channel, but it's not great. C for caution is, yeah, this is a okay game, it's got issues that I don't want on channel. D for dull, I've tried it, no. And F for, oh my god, what the hell is this dumpster fire? Now, before I get sued for libel, these are my personal opinions, so here goes. Number 1, 1111. It's a narrative adventure set in World War II. So, World War I. You follow two storylines, one a German soldier looking for his son, the other a Canadian soldier looking to impress a woman back home, and how their worlds collide. It's a really good story. It's kind of far-fetched in a lot of ways, and the ending, yeah, it's good, but it's not great. I'm stuck between appetizing and basic. I'm going to give it high basic tier for now. I say some of it was just far-fetched, some of it was a little bit, yeah, okay, whatever. So that's why it's not scoring higher. It could go in low appetizing, because I did really enjoy it. There you go. Next up, and this is going to be one people don't agree with me on, Age of Empires. Now, firstly, it is a really good game, but the gameplay just didn't grab me. I might be misremembering how much I liked Age of Empires 2 and 3. I'm not even sure if I remember playing 3. But Age of Empires 4, I like the videos that go along with it. I think that's a really cool addition. Some documentary fact videos. That's great. Because the gameplay, it was good, and I could probably get into it more. It just didn't make me want to keep coming back, you know? And then I hit a snag. I went back to continue a playthrough. There'd been an update, and the update wouldn't let me load and continue the game. At least that particular mission. Now that might not seem a lot, but to most people, this is a AAA game. Launched not in early access. If I'm paying $60 for a game that's not in early access, you better not destroy my fucking save. Sorry. That's a no. Now it's not dull, it's good. Didn't make me want to keep going back to it a lot, and that puts me a caution. The Amazing American Circus. One of, if not my first card battler. I can't remember playing a card battler before, but I have a feeling I might have tried one. This is a card battler set in a circus in 18th century, early 19th century America, I'm not sure which, where you're taking your circus from the west, the Wild West, through America over to the East Coast to compete and become the best there is. You've got all kinds of different troops, which are your performers, your troop indeed, misfits and all kinds of stuff. I really liked it, and it will be coming back to the channel. In fact, it did briefly recently, but then, and this is where you'll find it funny, there was an update and I couldn't use the save game. In fact, the save disappeared. I'm not sure if I did something wrong, but it was after the update, so I think it was that. Now, why am I still giving that appetizing when I put Age of Empires down to caution? That is a one person, I think, indie studio that's releasing in early access. Now, a lot of people have issues with early access. For me, early access is good if it's sufficient that I'm willing to pay the cost of it, and it's a budget game. The cost of it right now, and I am, and it can only get better or stay the same. So if it's already good enough for that money for me, and it was, then it's gonna stay good enough, or get even better. It is a simplistic game in a lot of ways. And as I say, it is early access, there is that caution on it, so I'm not going to put it supreme, but it's definitely appetizing for me. Aye, appetizing, lad. Amnesia, one that got a Humble Bundle. I want to like this game, I can't put it in dull, because the storyline as far as I got was good. I really want to like the game, but it's going in caution, and here's why. Me. I ended up within 2 or was it 3 episodes wandering around trying to find the way forward. Now, I have a decent IQ, but I'm not smart always, which means a lot of the difference really between intelligent and smart to me is intelligent means you can work your way through things, smart means you notice things and see things and think and actually do the thinking. It doesn't always hit me here when I could work things out. So I don't always notice things. I can be Captain Oblivious. So that kind of thing where you've got to notice things, yeah, that doesn't work too well for me. So I'm putting it in caution because I'm a fail at it more than it's a fail at me. Animation Studio Manager, F. Absolutely for me is in F tier. It is a fail. It plays like a bad mobile game in my opinion. Your mileage may vary, you may like it, I hated it. It got 1 episode and that was it. Done. Artist Life Simulator. This is another small studio early access release, and they're continuing to work on it. I enjoyed it, but there's too many mechanisms in it right now that are not in the game yet. You know, you get notices that this hasn't been implemented yet, etc. At the moment, I'm going to give it a basic. I think when it comes back, and it will come back, when they've done more development on it, maybe when it actually fully releases, I have a feeling I'll be moving it up to appetizing then. I really think I will. It's the fact that there's things that I'm missing that stops it being there for me. Brutal Legend. Now, I don't do action games usually, and this is an action game. It's going to go in caution. And it's going to be in caution above Amnesia. Why in caution instead of lower? Well, because I really, really enjoyed the game. It was fun. It was silly. It got you interested. I like the graphics. I like the sounds. I like the rock anthem. Yeah, lovely. Why in caution? Because I'm a YouTuber. Many of the songs in that game have copyright claims if you try and upload to YouTube. And the background of it, given that it is a Rock Legend game essentially, a Rock Legend fantasy adventure tour through hell game, the fact that I'm getting claims and actually got copyright blocked on one of them means it's completely inappropriate for YouTube. You could mute them, you could mute the songs, but at one point, the one that got blocked was I think around a third of the video was, I think it was an Aussie song or something like that, or was Aussie songs. Yeah, no, I can't have that on channel, therefore caution. It's worth playing, I recommend it. But if you're a YouTuber, don't try and do it on your channel. City of Gangsters. I want to like this, but I don't. It's going in dull. It just doesn't grab you. The graphics aren't that good, which was one of the things that got me that made me concerned in the first place. The gameplay is okay, but not really that exciting, to be honest. Just, yeah, okay, whatever. It's not all that. Let's get that back on, sorry. It's just not all that. It's a decent simulation underneath. I only played 3 episodes. It seems like it'll be a decent simulation. Didn't feel inviting to me. Detroit Become Human. How can that not go in Supreme? Do I need to say more? I'm not good at QTEs, so they turned me off, and I love this game. I've actually played this game through, usually with disasters because of how bad I am at QTEs. About 4 times now. Evil Genius 2. I'm stuck. I could go from basic to dull, so I'm going to go caution. I think I'm going to go caution below Age of Empires. It wasn't getting views, and it's enjoyable, but it's not enticing. The style is great. The characters are great. They're funny. But it can get repetitive quickly. It can get it can get just not really something you want to carry on with. Now, if I will say I enjoyed it, I would have carried on. But when I'm only getting 1 or 0 views, it's no point. It's done. It's gone. Festival Tycoon. That's definitely going low caution. Festival Tycoon is a game where you set up rock festivals, or well, not just rock, EDM, metal, you name it. Invite the punters in, make money off them, get better and better, and build up. It's got a lot going for it, but when I played it, it was buggy, and it had bugs that were borderline game breaking, and certainly made some of the gameplay seem weird to work around. I think it's going to go up. It could even go up to appetizing. But I don't know if I'll be back to it, just because the bugs put me off early on. And that is the problem with early access. It's got to be good enough to go out there. Game Dev Masters. Game Dev Masters. Ryan Saunders. Game Development Studio. Manager type thing. I'm going to put it appetizing, but I'm going to put it low appetizing. Ryan, I know you watch my stuff. I'm sorry about that. It's got everything it needs, and I really enjoy it. In fact, I've played it for months. I've taken a couple of months off, and I know I'll be back to it. He's got all the major features in now, and he's taken what I really admire about him. He's taken a lot of input from the punters, from us lot playing his game. And he's adapted what he can, or what he thinks is good, and explained why he's not putting other stuff in there. What don't I like about it? I mean, I love the concept. I love the execution of game development. I love the massive, well, pretty large amount of features that are in. Several you won't find in other game development studio tycoons at all. The pet, which is cute. The having other studios I haven't seen in every game development tycoon that are your animation studio specialists and so on. Cryptocurrency, I haven't tried it since that was added. The storefront, rather than release date, you can do it direct release, or you can release a game through storefront, which will last longer and build up slower, etc. What don't I like about it, Ryan? I'm going to be honest. There's no construction mode. In a lot of game dev tycoon type games and similar games, you have multiple teams. You have a building you're building, or multiple buildings you're building. You're designing your rooms, you're putting furniture and so on in. That's missing. That I'd like to see in the game. In this game, you start as a one-man team, or one-person team, and you end up as a 6-person team. That's it. Flat screen. Your dog might wander around a little bit, but that's about it. The lack of a construction option, the lack of building up your studio and having a massive studio is a turn-off. That's one feature I wish he had in there. But it doesn't need it. It's still appetizing. It's still a really good game. It's my favourite game dev studio type game. But that's a missing feature. Gas Station Simulator. Ooh, where to put this? It's certainly above caution. Now, is it appetizing or is it basic? I'm going to go appetizing, but I'm going to probably go lowest on appetizing. This one, you're running your own gas station. Now, you don't have the agency, and I heard Colonel Failure comment on this, and I agree with him. You don't have your agency of creating your own gas station. What you're doing is you get berries and unlocking pre-built parts that get stuck on. You don't have any control over that. You do where you put your shelves and so on, you do with the stock you buy and so on and so forth. And it's very repetitive. But here's the thing, a game can be repetitive if you're busy enough in a fun way that you don't really notice it's repetitive, and this will have you running your ass off all over the place. It's a really good game. It's just not a totally polished game. Gladiator Guild Manager had a very short run until my last computer died. It's sufficient, it's cute. It's not that in-depth, to be perfectly honest. Basic. Can't comment more on that because it had a short run before my last computer died. Grow. Oh, I'm so sad to put this here. Dull. I played 3 episodes. Number 1 just was okay. Is this what we're doing here? We're just planting things and running around and spraying them and maybe they'll grow. I didn't want to come back, but I came back. You know, it was on channel. I come back. Number 2, advancing on that and then meeting the Everkin and things like that. I wanted to carry on. Number 3 had me running around the map doing pointless things and getting bored. It's got so much potential, and for some people this will be an absolutely fantastic game. I could get hate comments for not putting it in Supreme, but that's why I made it clear this is my personal opinion. For me, after number 1 and 3, I just don't want to touch it anymore. I really don't. It just didn't work for me at all. I got bored real easy with it, and it's not because it's of the kind of game, because it's kind of in the same league as My Life at Porsche. I like that game. I would have carried on if I was running that. I've got what is it, My Life at Sandusk, or whatever the hell the new one is, coming out next year, I think. I've got that on my wish list, and I'm really looking forward to it. This one didn't hit me right. Growing Up is a narrative game. Probably going to put it in basic. It's a narrative game about raising a child. You're the child, effectively. Raising through birth to 18 years old and seeing if you can do well in life. You meet friends, you make enemies or friends, you've got control over how you treat people. It's all choice, it's all a standard narrative game in that way, in that you can't do absolutely anything, because, well, they can't work all that in, but you do have agency. More than some narrative games, actually. Now, the mechanism for getting your smarts, and therefore aging up well, is a simplistic puzzle game. It's not the selling point of it. It's sufficient for the gameplay, but it's not really a selling point. It could be better. So, I'm putting that in basic. It could be better. It might even come back to the channel again. I don't know. We'll see what they do with it. But right now it's going basic. Funny, I joined a cult. Caution's an unfortunate word to put there, because it's not that there's anything wrong with this. In fact, it's going to go high caution, probably the highest. There's nothing wrong with the game. But boy, it gets repetitive, at least in my opinion. Relatively quickly playing through, I'd opened all the options. Everything else was just a tiny little advance on that option. I mean, there is the final summoning of the big bad, if you like, or the big hero, if you're giving you a cult worshipping them to wipe out the world. But it was repetitive. I abandoned it in the end because it was so repetitive. House Flipper. This is another that people are going to disagree with me on. They're going to say I'm rating it too highly. I'm going to put it low appetizing. It's had its run on channel. I think it had 8 episodes, maybe. And it will come back with each new DLC, possibly even between. But it'll come back for one house or 2 houses. That's all. It doesn't merit more. What is it? It's a game where you buy screwed up houses, you fix them up, and you sell them. There's limited player agency. I mean, there is player agency in what you're choosing to put up there, but it's the house is the house. You're working on that house, and then just selling it. It's okay. What it sells itself for me, and that's why I'm putting it appetizing, is a mental health game. I have an anxiety disorder. I also have depression. I'm not asking for sympathy, don't be bloody silly. But that means I can get really wound up really easily. And this game is one of the most relaxing games I've ever found. You can just put yourself in there and enjoy painting and slapping up wallpaper and spackling and all the other stuff. Make some money and just have fun. So that's why it will keep coming back. Because now and then I'll just want to put up a video of a video or two of, yeah, let's fix up this house, let's have some relaxing fun together. It's worth it. But it is a fairly basic game overall. It really needs more options on what you can do. It really doesn't have that many choices on trees for your garden, on wallpapers and so on. It could have a lot more going for it like that. Lights, there could be a lot more options. Maybe there is in workshop. I haven't actually looked to see if there's a workshop. But yeah, it's worth it for me. It's definitely worth it. It's going in low appetizing for the fact that it's one of the most soothing games I've played. Humankind. Supreme. I could put it in high appetizing, but I'm going to put it in supreme, low supreme. It does need work. It's fresh out of the gate. It just released this year. But it's already... I've been playing Civilization series since 1991 when it released. When number 1 released. And I love Civ. I love this more. That's saying something. Why? It doesn't have some of the development that Civ does. Civ's on Civ 6. Probably Civ 7 when the next release. It doesn't have some of the development. It's not as in-depth as Civ is. I'm going to admit that right off. But the combat is way better than Civ. Way, way better than Civ. And is being improved as we go. The event system are little narrative things that affect the game that Civ doesn't have in it. And they're good. They're not fantastic. They're not deep. It's not Crusader Kings level deep. But they're a good addition to a 4X game. They really are. And I love it. The map is probably nicer to look at than Civ. And the fact that... Now, this is something that a lot of people hate about it, but I absolutely adore about it. That you don't play one nation. You play a culture that changes at each era. I love that. I'm sorry, dude, but the United Kingdom didn't exist in Stone Age or ancient times. The Celts did. And you can play the Celts and move on to the United Kingdom in this game. England doesn't exist as an independent nation nowadays. The United Kingdom does. And again, I don't know if the United Kingdom is in it. I don't recall. England is. And Great Britain is, I think, those are the two. So that's it. Through the eras, every nation you can think of has changed. It's not been the same. And I love that it embraces that. And the way it embraces it, each one gets its own special bonus that applies throughout time. Each one is its own special district, which you can only build during that time, but will continue to help you throughout time. So it builds up, and what your nation, if you want to look at it that way, is in the end, is an accumulation of the effects of the different cultures that have gone into it. I love that. I love that. So yeah, that's a supreme tier for me. It's not without its problems. It's not as developed as Civ Wiz. It's only bloody released this year. Come on, but I'm putting that supreme tier. Jurassic World Evolution, I really don't feel that I can give a good review to, an appropriate review to. The campaign didn't excite me, and that's what I played. But the reason I didn't continue it is because when my old computer died and I got the new computer, this isn't optimized enough graphically to do that well. Even early on with a small zoo or small park, as in the early campaign things, I was starting to see some performance issues. So if you've got a lower end, and I was running on minimum graphics, if you've got a lower end PC, it might not work well for you. Mount and Blade Bannerlord. I know Sieges. I didn't get that far into it before my computer died. I know that Sieges are badly rated, though they are working on it, and there's other things that have issues too. Do I put it in high appetizing or low supreme? I think I'm going to put it in the lowest level of supreme. No, I know why I'm not going to do that. Oretzi's folly. To progress the game story to begin with, you have to go through Noretzi's folly, chasing down leaders across the lands to talk to them to get a bit of progress. It is draining. It is annoying as hell. They need to take that early campaign thing out of there. But it has a lot of detail. It's great fun to do the battles. It's you can end up running your own kingdom. You can build up your towns and so on and so forth. You start as nobody and can become the big fish. You can conquer the whole world, in fact. I like it. It's really good. But Noretzi's following one or two other issues. Just mean, no. You're going to be out. You're going to be top appetizing, not low supreme. Not for broadcast. I'm sorry, that's got to be going up here. I'm even going to put it above Detroit, even though people disagree with me. This is an FMV game, a narrative FMV game, where you are the new news controller of a studio, a news channel, shall we say, or a TV channel, in a rather dystopian version of the United Kingdom in the near future. And it is bloody stupid. The humour is hilariously bad. It's deliberate. It's the kind of bad of deliberately bad. It knows what it's doing. It's hilarious. It's silly. It makes you go, "What the hell?" It's great. And in being that bad, it's actually taking good, appropriate digs at media, politics, modern culture, etc. It's really good commentary in a daft joke way. I love it. It's got 2 out of 3 chapters done so far. I am gagging for chapter 3. Oh, and I'll also give them credit for during the pandemic, when it was at its height. I mean, it's still there really, but they couldn't get everyone together to carry on with the game as much. But they managed to put together a special episode, if you like, where you're dealing with a pandemic of killer robot toys instead. And that's a great testament to them paying attention to modern events. I love it. That's great. It's one of the best for me. Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Now, you might be saying, wait, isn't this top heavy? Well, it bloody well better be. Because if I'm picking all dull or failed games, I'm doing this wrong. Wrath of the Righteous. That's got to be the top game for me, I think. I know some don't rate it as highly as I do, and that's your opinion. You're entitled to it. I don't care if you're wrong. Joke. I can't stop playing this. It's not on channel anymore because it wasn't popular. I think it wasn't popular because I had so many failed attempts to begin with, which, okay, yep, that's my fault. And no one wants to watch it now, and that's fine. I can't stop playing it off channel. There is one big problem. It's a CRPG with a great narrative, a lot of depth, and so on. There is one problem with it, and it's actually a problem with me. I don't know if I'll ever finish it, because I keep getting certain depth into it and thinking, I want to try this with a different character, main character. I want to restart. Yeah, I'm an alcoholic. That's my fault. But that game really inspires it in me, because it has such variety. Recipe for the Disaster. Cooking restaurant management game. I played through the campaign, which was relatively short, basic. And I'll put it low level basic. It's fun. The menu option, adding menu options, adding designing recipes and so on. I love that. I didn't actually do that much with it in the game, but I love that it's there. I think it could be done better, but it's there and it's good. Fires though, oh my god, the fires in this thing. If a restaurant caught fire that much, or anywhere near that much, it'd be out of business in a week. There's nothing wrong with a kitchen fire. But when the whole kitchen catches fire and won't be put out because as soon as you put the fires out, another thing is, that's broken. Road 96. Mid-tier appetizing. It's a really good game. It's a narrative game about you playing the lives or the flight of several teens fleeing a dystopian country along Road 96. Each one contributes to the story and how the ending will go. And each one is properly animated and voiced over and so on. It's really good. The trouble is, and while you do have agency within the different scenes, and there are a lot of scenes, there can only be so many. And so when you play other playthroughs, although they're going to be in different orders and unlock different things in different orders, you're doing the same thing over and over again, essentially. You might make different choices in that scene, but you're seeing the same scene over and over again, so it's lacking replayability value in my mind. I do want to replay it, but I don't honestly think I will at this point. Turnip Boy commits tax evasion. Basic. Low basic. Maybe high caution. High caution. Just below alt. Come on. Just below Honey, I Joined a Cult. This was off of a Humble Bundle, and having played it as far as I have, I'm going to say it definitely deserves its slot. It's definitely paid for the dollar slot. Questionable whether it deserves the full $12. I think it does, but here's what it is. I bought it for the narrative aspect. I paid it for the narrative aspect, and the narrative aspect is basic. It's amusing, not quite funny. Not quite funny, but it is amusing. The game basically amounts to you running around the map, doing little fetch quests, etc. for people, getting a little bit of story on them, very little bit, and trying to stop working for the mayor, who's essentially turned you into a slave because you committed tax evasion. The thing that got me in the end, though, were the boss battles. I'm not good at that kind of thing. So that, no, it wasn't a narrative. It wasn't narrative enough to keep going. And given that on the bomb shelter section, I was failing so hard on the boss. Watching me fail once or twice, that can be amusing. Watching nothing but fail, that's just not for me. Not for the channel either. I think that would bore the life out of you. That's fine. It's a good game. It's not a great game at all. I don't regret having tried it. I certainly think it merited its place in the Humble Bundle. Vagrant, the Riven Land. I can't give this a good review, an effective review. Same reason I couldn't for Jurassic World, but I am going to put it a little higher. In fact, I'm going to put it high? How high? Can't really justify higher than that one little I've played. On basic. It's a narrative game. It's a pure text game, pretty much. There's some map exploring and so on, but it's essentially a pure text game about you being a trader in a Dungeons and Dragons type land. I like it. I do like it. But I haven't played it enough to say how much. Because it doesn't, I can't say how in depth it is. And I even read a comment from them saying it doesn't have enough substance yet, from the developers, I mean, on Steam. That that they're building up substance and they need it. Then I'm not going to move it above basic tier just yet. But it will come back to the channel almost certainly. And I'm hoping it will be up to appetizing or supreme by then. Wild and Myth, I've played exactly one episode of. All I can say so far is I love it. Going mid-appetizing. It's fun. It's fun, and it's got me outside of the game thinking about what I do next. I'm thinking about renaming characters, if that's possible. You do get to do it at first. I don't know if you can later on. Thinking of funny names for them and so on as well. Alright, funny to me. You might not like them. And wondering what other characters I get, and so on and so forth. It's a narrative role-playing game, and I love it so far. We'll see how it goes later on. It's a bit unfair to give it appetizing because I've only played one episode. I mean, for all I know, a couple of episodes in, I might have it down at dull. Right now, it's got me wanting to play more. It's almost getting me wanting to play more right this second. WWE 2K19 Universe. That's going mid to low appetizing. Here's why. Firstly, WWE 2K20 was a dumpster fire. Everyone knows that. It even stopped working when you hit 2020. They didn't do a 2021. So this is the last good game in the series. I'm only playing Universe mode, and it's not. I mean, you can control the wrestlers if you want, but I'm not. The point of Universe mode for me is to get you lot involved. You send me your wrestlers, and by the way, you're welcome to do so. It's over on my other channel, 3745. It's over on. I'm going to put a link in at the top there, a card. It's over on my other channel, Yorkieverse Wrestling Federation. And basically what I do is I narrate the matches along with the other commentators. Or I commentate on the matches, I should say, not narrate. And it's great fun to have friends, viewers, etc. Get their wrestlers in and see who competes against who. Set cards up and so on. But as an active game, I can't comment on the other side of it. And I've no interest in that. It's appetizing, but it isn't one that I would say is enough to say, yeah, I want to play it myself. I want to commentate on it. I want you folks involved. Send me your wrestlers. As Yorkie England is always saying, we need your wrestlers to be our superstars. So check out the link at the top. Send in some ideas, and I'll get them in the game for you. Because the more you do that, the bigger it grows and the better it gets. And finally, YouTuber's Life 2. Goes basic for me. I'm not even going to put it high basic. Which is funny, because there's a lot of stuff in there that's really good. I enjoy making videos. I enjoy the streaming. I like that they added streaming, live streaming. That's a good addition. I like that you can do videos around town. You can do commentary videos. You can do interview videos. I like all that. I don't like the fact that you can only make gaming videos. You can't do cooking. You can't do fashion. You can't do, what was the other one they did? Music. So that doesn't appeal to me. I like that they're focusing more on YouTubers' life. It's called that after all. So you're running around doing errands for people. There's stories involved. I like that, but the stories aren't deep. If you're going to do that, make the stories worthwhile. They're not. And the thing that annoys me about it, this is my channel. And I have no doubt that PewDiePie, Markiplier, Craner, German Let's Plays, what was the woman that I ran into? I forget her name now. That they're much better than I am. I've no doubt about it. But why the hell would I want to have a game on my channel that's basically product placement for them? And so many of the things are, oh, hey, go talk to Craner. He's got some piece of shit for you to do. Go do your own fucking channel, Craner. Excuse the language, it's an 18+ channel. Go do your own thing. Get off of mine. If the stories were worthwhile from them, sure. But they're not. They're garbage. Craner wants me to go get some squid ink so that he can ride out and go through a portal? What? Are you serious? That's just so you can dump his name into the game. I don't care that he's a fantastic YouTuber. I care that he's not relevant to the game. Get rid of him. Get rid of German Let's Plays from the game. Yeah, have people go watch them. That's fine. They're great. I'm absolutely sure of it. Some of them I do watch. Intermittently, at least. Well, don't pull him in a game that I'm running on my channel or anyone else is running on theirs. That's nothing but product placement for bigger YouTubers. And so there you are. It is top loaded, although there's a lot in caution. That's the equal biggest with advertising. But as I said, if most of them were down here, what the hell am I doing? I'm picking games I don't even enjoy at that point. Top game for me, Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, even though it's not on channel anymore. Worst game for me, Animation Studio Manager, because that was a dumpster fire, in my opinion. Alright, hope you enjoyed that. Let me know any games you want bringing to channel, and we'll see what we can do. So, on.